mentionné. C'est vrai que la Commission, initialement, avait l'intention de proposer dans les paquets qualité une partie dédiée aux produits locaux. Et cette partie a été temporairement retirée parce que, comme vous le savez, la Commission européenne, quand elle fait des propositions législatives, ces propositions doivent être accompagnées par une étude d'impact pour montrer l'impact positif ou négatif de ce type de décision. Et malheureusement, au moment où on a introduit au départ cette partie dans le paquet qualité, c'était mon souhait très fort quand j'ai pris ces fonctions. Je me suis rendu compte après que je risque de faire plus de mal que du bien à ces concepts si j'approfondis pas suffisamment des points de vue de l'analyse économique, sociale, environnementale avec des données cette proposition. C'est pour ça que temporairement on a décidé de retirer ça, de mener ce genre d'études. C'est pour ça que j'ai mentionné dans mon intervention que malheureusement on n'a pas encore actuellement suffisamment d'études. On en parle beaucoup publiquement, mais on n'a pas beaucoup étudié encore ces questions. On est en train de le faire à la Commission européenne. La conférence d'aujourd'hui fait aussi partie de ce processus de consultation, d'identification aussi d'exemples porteurs. Et donc, ne vous inquiétez pas, Madame Bresso, je n'ai pas changé d'avis. Je souhaite remercier d'ailleurs au Comité des régions pour le travail qu'il a fait et pour le soutien politique qui porte à ces concepts. Et donc, on viendra sans doute avec ces rapports et, si nécessaire, avec des propositions législatives. Je souhaite m'arrêter là, mais pas avant de remercier tout d'abord à Son Altesse Royale le Prince de Wales, Prince Charles, qui nous a fait l'honneur d'avoir cette intervention. Je pense que quand on parle de responsabilité politique, il est important de montrer, je pense, à tous les niveaux, l'implication qu'on a pour développer ces systèmes commerciaux locaux. Mais je souhaite aussi remercier de fond de cœur à Carlo Petrini, qui est là avec nous, qui interviendra cet après-midi, le fondateur de Slow Food. Je pense qu'il n'y a pas besoin de dire plus. C'est lui qui s'est battu parce qu'il croit aussi dans la gastronomie, la diversité et tout ce qui en découle des consommateurs jusqu'aux producteurs. Donc je le remercie qu'il est là avec nous. Et on aura aussi aujourd'hui, dans l'après-midi, avec nous, M. Reinhold Messner, un montagnard très connu dans ce milieu. C'est lui qui a fait pour la première fois Everest sans masque d'oxygène, qui a fait tous les 8000 mètres de la planète, donc il regarde les choses de très très haut, mais qui en même temps, il est beaucoup avec les pieds sous la terre, et aujourd'hui, dans son sous-Tyrol natal, il est fortement dédié aussi à la mise en valeur des produits locaux, de la gastronomie, des circuits courts. Et je souhaitais que beaucoup d'experts qui sont dans la salle, des spécialistes, des agriculteurs, puissent partager aussi l'expérience avec des gens qui ont dédié, je pourrais dire, leur vie à la valeur de ce qu'on a dans l'assiette et aussi à la mise en valeur de la vie de ceux qui nous aident à avoir des choses de qualité dans l'assiette. Donc je souhaite le remercier. On se reverra dans l'après-midi et puis je laisse maintenant nos collègues de la commission pour accompagner les discussions qui auront lieu. Merci beaucoup.
However, it goes without saying that farming and food production are vital to the health and well-being of people in every society. But what isn't so well known is that they are increasingly under pressure from a whole series of ecological challenges. Soils are being degraded, water is becoming scarce, the way we farm has an impact on wildlife, on the conservation of natural resources and how we minimize both the causes of climate change and our vulnerability to what increasingly seem to be the inevitable consequences of our changing climate. On top of these environmental pressures, there is a wide range of economic pressures. the affordability and viability of rural communities, largely driven by a burgeoning world population, and the way diets are changing in both Europe and the developing world. It is clear that food production is a truly complex and multi-layered subject. Now, there is from time to time, though, a thread of wisdom which emerges to help us understand this complex subject, to arouse our common sense and help us present a solution to the multifaceted challenges we face. I hope you all agree with me that local food is one such topic. Certainly the growing interest in it and the increases in demand for it seem to point to the fact that more and more people appreciate the benefits. When you think about it, the advantages are pretty amazing. For one thing, if we produced food more locally, we would reduce the resources we expend in moving it over long distances. I'm sure I don't have to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that the price of oil has been rising and will no doubt continue to do so, which will inevitably push up the cost of transportation and therefore the price of food too. If we moved food over shorter distances, then we would reduce our collective vulnerability to the impact of very high energy costs. But there are other benefits too. Sourcing food more locally helps protect some of Europe's historic and distinctive landscapes. When food is grown for distant markets, it tends to be produced on a large scale as a commodity, which generally means a monoculture that favours the sort of uniform conditions which obliterate all else. Over the past 15 years, I've been fortunate to spend some time in parts of rural Romania, one of the more recent members of the European Union and its common agricultural policy. And I've been struck by the way the landscape across much of that country still looks as if it belongs there. The farming and the local environment have grown together. As a result, it is a partnership developed over centuries between farmers and nature, creating what is, to many eyes, a stunningly beautiful landscape, with a degree of biodiversity that is unparalleled in the rest of Europe. It is no accident that these conditions coincide with a farming economy that still supplies mainly local markets. And with that landscape comes not only beauty, but also a sense of identity for the people who live there. And let's not forget what that food tends to taste like. There is great value in producing food with the distinctive taste of local varieties and products. Not only does the taste matter, it is also the basis of a strong relationship between the producer and the consumer. These are the reasons why more and more shoppers are discovering the joy of buying from local suppliers, people they can actually meet and talk to, rather than buying the anonymous and mass-produced food that makes up so much of what most Europeans now consume. In this way, not only does local food help to cut pollution, save resources and nurture landscapes, it also fortifies what I can only describe as social capital, while at the same time boosting rural economies. This is not to say that we should only aim for a system of local food production, but these factors surely suggest that it should be one approach that we should favour more. It certainly seems to me that for a long time the incentives and support given to industrial farming techniques have been insufficiently balanced with those that help smaller scale producers who supply local markets. But fortunately there is a great deal that can be done. Policy, of course, has a role. Just imagine the impact it would have if we were to set targets for the amount of locally produced food bought by public institutions like hospitals and schools. And I'm sure there are steps that could be taken to help prevent smaller producers being disadvantaged by those health and safety regulations which tend to be more efficiently navigated by those who enjoy the benefits of sometimes vast economies of scale. There is also a vital role for the private sector. A few years ago, I established my International Sustainability Unit, or ISU, with the aim of facilitating a consensus between the public, private, and NGO sectors on a range of environmental issues. One of them is the issue of food security. Firstly, my ISU has been developing agreement on how countries might each undertake an economic analysis of food security. And it has also been working to unite farmers, agribusiness, and the retail sector so that they might make the most of the economic, environmental, and social benefits of taking an intelligent view of integrated resource management at a local scale, and maybe even boost those benefits. Now, while I'm sure there are plenty of people who would say I got all this wrong, I must say I have long been puzzled by the fact that so many advocates of industrialized farming, who pour such scorn on smaller scale and more local operations, tend to travel to traditional landscapes when they go on holiday. They talk with great relish about the local food they enjoy, the distinctive wines, the villages, and the magical atmosphere of places that can only be found in ancient, sustainable landscapes. Well, this suggests to me that we really do need to stop seeing locally produced food as some sort of niche market, and instead see it as an increasingly important, vital part of the mainstream process of planning the future of European agriculture. After all, local food was at the heart of what was once considered to be conventional farming for thousands of years. It is only recently, in just a few decades, that industrial monocultures have come to be regarded as the norm. As we grapple with the many economic, social, and ecological challenges that face us, it seems to me that local food could have a very important role to play, and is actually a key part of the solution to the multi-layered dilemmas we have to address. So, ladies and gentlemen, I send with this message my very best wishes for what I am sure will be a successful meeting, and I much look forward to hearing of the progress you make.
Bien, et maintenant nous allons passer à la session plénière proprement dite. Et finalement le sujet, c'est un peu comme ce que nous venons d'entendre. Notre sujet, c'est le partenariat entre la nature, l'agriculture, les consommateurs et aussi les pouvoirs publics.